Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, old and the young, welcome back to Wrestling with the Business. I am your host, Jeremy the Varsity Athlete Bodette. With me, as always, is the new and improved Matthew More Than Man Lambert, and as always, Dan, the man himself, the GM, Dan Shevlin. We are back. We have crawled out of the wilderness, swam off the island of irrelevancy.
I think we got lost for a little bit.
As one might say. And we are back. We are better than ever, new and improved. You can see we've got our new set back here. We're very excited to be back here with you. A lot has happened. I am very excited to be back. Is this episode 64, 65, or 63? I don't know.
174, no.
Yeah. Yes, this is the Goldberg record of shows. We've changed the formatting a little bit. We're very excited to be back with you guys discussing all of the incredible things that have happened, not just in the last 5 or 6 months or so, but everything that's going forward in 2025.
So what spice it up a little bit.
What are we going to be covering? We have to cover Raw on Netflix this week, guys. There's no way around that. We're going to have to cover AEW on HBO, what's going on with that. We're going to have to cover, we're doing a new segment, This Week in Wrestling History, that Matt's going to help us out with, talk a little bit about the past in this week. And then, of course, what better way to start 2025 than to look forward. Before we do that, hit that like button. Please comment below. What are you looking forward to in 2025? What did you think about Netflix, the Netflix premiere of Raw? I know Dan had a lot.
I'm steamed,
Dan
Jeremy.
has a couple modest, small opinions he wants to share with us. So really looking forward to that.
Brewing.
And so please be sure to do that first. But let's get right into it. Raw premiered on Netflix this week. Dan, you have a couple thoughts on that.
Let me just set the tone.
Yeah, get us started.
Let me set the mood and the tone for a second. Okay, I haven't watched Raw in quite some time. I haven't watched AEW in quite longer. I haven't watched SmackDown. I haven't watched anything in quite some time. You know, we see what's going on and we read everything and all that. So I haven't been excited to go watch a show in quite some time. I was looking forward to it all day. I was texting some other buddies. I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen? I'm like, okay, I'm leaving work at 6:30. I have my whole night situated. I'm leaving work at 6:30. I gotta go home at 7 o'clock, let the dog out, have him take a shit, feed him, okay? get everything situated, be ready to go, have dinner made, and be ready in position at 8 o'clock. Like, I was ready for this. Like, I heard The Rock was coming. I heard John Cena's coming. I heard we have a bunch of matches going on, main event matches. Roman Reigns, the Bloodline, Tribal Chief. And I was like, I'm pretty excited for it, right? You know, it's like, get ready, get going. First 5 minutes, great. Lighting
that promo was
the intro,
pretty epic.
Fantastic.
That promo,
the whole
epic.
sheet thing around the ring that came down, Triple H in the middle, great. The lighting, fantastic. The graphics, everything, right? The Rock comes out. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. The whole entrance, fantastic. Everything was great.
The goosebumps.
Everything was great until he handed the belt to his kids. And I go, oh shit, here we go. He gives the People's Championship to his kids.
To the people.
Whatever you want to call it. He hands it away. I'm like, this isn't going good. I can already tell. And he gets in the ring. He has the laughs going. I'm like, this is cheesy PG Rock, and I can't stand it already. And he grabs a mic and he starts doing the thank yous. I'm like, Jesus, okay, what's going on here? And then the thank you, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, broke kayfabe there pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
The thank you, everything. Then thank you, Roman Reigns. I'm like, holy shit, where is this going? And you guys saw the rest. But the point now is, it was ruined. Everything is ruined in WWE. Now look, I'm not.
They doubled down on that later in the show when they show him backstage.
I don't know what the hell.
Handing.
Look, I don't know what the hell is going on. The reality is, what was making WWE so interesting is the not knowing what's going on. This whole final boss character, fantastic. One of the best Rock gimmicks I've seen, probably out of all the ones that he's done. This whole final boss, the entrance, the way he comes out, the way
glasses.
he talks, everything. He had the high chief, the high power. He runs the show. Fantastic. It was almost like a little bit of an authority figure, but not. Like, it was a fantastic character. And what made WWE so hot and fresh, in my opinion, a lot of other things too, but he was involved with Cody Rhodes. he was involved with Roman Reigns, and they also, the two of them, had other storylines with other people. You never knew when The Rock was coming out. You never knew when he's going to get involved again. There were so many things that were intertwining back. It made for great content. And then he comes down and just blows it out of the water. Gone.
Yeah, he's stepping back.
It's done. It is done. Now, maybe, and I've said from the beginning that Triple H is very good at the surprises and the unknowns, and he goes out of his way to purposely trick people. Maybe there's something coming down. I was a little worried after Raw ended, but I do notice that on NXT they reference him as the final. I thought, like I mentioned, I heard no final boss on the show. I had to go back and watch. Pat McAfee did say it
Cole
when he
said
came
it
out.
twice.
I went back like, are they really cutting the final boss?
Well, with the belt, he came out with the belt.
He gave
Muhammad
the belt.
Ali's
Then
belt.
You go back and you look at it. He's thanking Cody Rhodes. He's thanking
Yeah, he's chairman of the
Roman
board.
Reigns,
He's chairman of the board,
Roman
right?
Reigns, giving the belt to it. I'm like, it's done. It's done. It's ruined.
Yeah, the whole
like the
gimmick's
whole
over.
thing is ruined. And then the rest of the show, to me, I think like content was so great and everything was so fantastic, and then
Very
they finally
polished.
get to Netflix and it's like
Too polished.
we're done.
All right, what was your
We're
biggest couple of takeaways there?
I mean, I think the biggest thing anyone is talking about, while that was bad, the Hulk Hogan promo.
Oh Jesus, that's
Like-
not even.
That did not go over like Triple H thought it would.
No, not at all. If it
Oh
had,
my gosh!
if it had been maybe in Florida or the Carolinas or somewhere down south, maybe he would have been okay, but not in L.A.
California, yeah.
Absolutely not.
Thumbs
Everything
down.
he's saying, my greatest tag team partner has been the people, and you've stuck by me. Boo! Like, bad.
Yeah, face
Ultimately bad. But my main complaint, though, is what I've been saying about WWE forever now. It was too polished, too produced, too much going on. Anyone who's just turning on the TV and just flipping channels and sees this won't be able to tell the difference between this or between SummerSlam or Saudi Arabia or WrestleMania or whatever. All of their shit looks exactly the same. Super, like, take away the matches, take away the names, the graphics, whatever. This right next to a match at WrestleMania, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. There's nothing differentiating their shows.
Mm-hmm.
They make everything larger than life, crazy, bright, fantastic. Like, it's just too much. It takes me out of it.
I had three thoughts. The first one was, and this is a good thing, was I don't, and you guys can correct me on this, I don't remember hearing sports entertainment at any point.
Yes, good
As a
point.
matter of fact, I heard
They
wrestling
cut that
and
out.
pro
Wow.
wrestling.
He
multiple
specifically
times.
said this is what World Wrestling Entertainment
Yep.
is about. Yeah.
I did not hear WWE Universe
Nope. You're
at
right.
any point. I didn't hear any of that kind of stuff. And to me, as a fan that's followed it for years and years, to me, that is a greater delineation between the Triple H era, or what will become the Triple H era, and the Vince McMahon era.
Yes.
Where clearly they clearly were using this Netflix premiere as a doorway, through a portal through which they pass, and now we have moved officially into the Triple H era. We're on a new network. It's a new deal. He's in full control. It was his voiceover at the beginning. He's the guy that hosted the show. We are in a new day, and you can really I really felt a change as a lifetime fan of professional wrestling in WWE. To me, this really felt different. This was a pay-per-view. I was
for
wondering.
sure.
I was wondering why. Like, okay, there's nothing between Royal Rumble. And this is the first time in how long between one of the big four that they haven't had anything at all. Yeah, they were going to use this as that thing. So everything was a main event. Bloodline, the Women's World Championship changed hands. Obviously, we've got the big Seth Rollins versus CM Punk match at the end. Everything was a main event. There was a setup. They hinted at Penta next week with Chad Gable. That got me a little bit excited.
There
as
was a
fans of both of them.
pentographic.
And
They had
Penta,
that,
yep, was there. So they're sort of teasing next week, and they're trying to continue the momentum going, which is good. Here was one. We talked about sort of Attitude Era and moving into the new age. Did you guys notice during Jey Uso's entrance when he came in through the crowd, he was with the guy that does, what's his name? Travis
Scott.
Travis Scott. He was smoking weed while he was walking next to Jey Uso down
Yeah.
the steps, and they were celebrating. And I thought, I don't think they do that on the USA Network. or if they did, there'd be some serious consequences associated with it. But it's Netflix, so everybody's fine. So, I mean, you'd never see that in the Attitude Era. You wouldn't see that during the PG era, certainly. So, I think those are the three biggest. There were a million things to say about it, but those are the three biggest things for me. We are clearly walking through a new portal, a new door. It's Triple H's show now. This was the pay-per-view that's supposed to split everything up. They treated it that way, and it makes a lot of sense. And I think we're going to start seeing... I think John Cena dropped a couple of swear words, too, in his promo, didn't he?
No.
Somebody...
Rock did.
The Rock did.
Yeah.
There was some language in there. Cena talking about winning the Royal Rumble.
Cena's promo was actually pretty good.
It was classic
It was
Cena.
nostalgia.
Yeah, it was classic Cena.
But the only other thing that really stood out was there was really no progression. No storyline progression. Nothing saying...
That's what makes the show
It's
show
a
better.
reset.
Come back next week.
It's a reset.
See, here's I agree.
the Gunther
But,
promo.
but what are people... nothing on there said, hey, come back next week and watch us on Netflix.
Penta Gable. Gunther. They promoted Gunther.
No long-term storylines.
They promoted
You're both right.
Kaiser versus
Sheamus.
You're both right.
That's not a storyline.
This is
They're right.
this is starting a new era. It is. I saw that. That's all great. And you're right. They did nothing to progress any storylines. None. The whole ending of that's how the Seth Rollins and CM Punk's gonna end. Like, we're just done with that. Like,
Yeah,
that's it. That was the match. Like, I mean, that was the match. I mean, the Roman Reigns solo Sokola match was the best match.
Well, it's going to have to go to WrestleMania. They need to get legs out of it.
They're not going to WrestleMania, those two.
Rollins and Punk?
No, they're scrapping that. They're scrapping everything.
Yeah, I think it's done.
very clear. Here's what I've learned. I've learned unless either WWE is very, very predictable, or they're purposely screwing with you. And I think we're going down the very, very predictable. Okay, it's clearly The Rock's not going to 41, which means now they're resetting the main events. Okay, John Cena is clearly going to win the Royal Rumble. Okay, so now who's he going to go fight? That's going to have to be Cody Rhodes. So now CM Punk's going to have to go over and do Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins over to whoever. What's that guy's name?
Gunther?
Yes. So that's clearly where they're going to go. I mean, so clearly that this episode was designed to end all the storylines going on and make them a pay-per-view match show and get rid of everything that they were planning on doing at Netflix. I mean, because I think CM Punk, Seth Rollins was definitely Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, and clearly they're not doing that anymore. That you're going to tell me that how's that storyline going to progress after Raw? He clearly won. How does it progress? What do they do? Does he come out and attack CM Punk viciously and hurts him, and he's out for a while? Like, how you progress that story? It's done.
Yeah, well, it's weird because they're both basically working a face angle. I mean, they don't. Triple H doesn't believe in the heel face, but they both work in a face angle.
How you progress the Rock Cody Rhodes or Rock Roman Reigns? You can't. It's done. Unless they're just going to do a 360 and all of a sudden he's a heel again. He was just out there for his board of directors role.
There really aren't any great heels.
Right. They ended everything on Raw.
I think we talked about that last year, actually, 9 months ago
But I think the question here is, what's next week going to look like? What's 4 weeks going to look like? Where is Raw going to be 10 weeks from now? Are they going to be flying the drones all around and all the lights going crazy and all that?
You don't think so?
Where's it going to be? Like, I mean, is it? Are they still? Because I disagree. I liked all that. I thought the show was very entertaining on the graphics camera side. I wasn't happy with the content, but I think the show was produced very well.
You can do the drone stuff as long as it's an indoor arena. I think outside with the FA and stuff, things get a little weird. But yeah, as far as the camera work, as far as the quality, is it going to be as big? No. They clearly tried to get a crazy start. 17,000 people jammed in there. LA, Rock, Undertaker, Cena. But Cena's going to be there consistently. This is his farewell tour. So he's going to be there consistently for most of the
You really
next
think
year.
he's going to be there nonstop?
Not nonstop, but consistent.
How many appearances do you think he's going to be there?
For the whole year?
Until WrestleMania.
Oh, between now and WrestleMania?
Yeah, how many? How many times do you think he shows up on a Raw or SmackDown show? Not a pay-per-view. Can we write this down for the notes?
Sure. How many weeks do we have between now and WrestleMania? We got what?
It was 106 days, he said on the pay-per-view.
4 weeks of March, 4 weeks of February, 8.
So
we'll say 12 weeks.
No, it's more than that. It's 4 months away. It's 4 months away. So 16 weeks, almost 17 weeks, 10 appearances between Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and pay-per-views. I think we'll get 10 appearances.
6.
Counting this Raw. So 9 additional to this one.
I'm going to say 6. What do you think, Matt?
What the hell? I'll say he'll be there every week.
This is the opposite of the Price is Right rules.
So we'll do plus 10.
$1.
I'm going to guess 10 gajillion.
10 plus for Matt. I
You
don't
think
know.
6?
I think you'll barely be there.
Yeah, no, I think
this is
Well, I mean, it depends. It's not stopping at WrestleMania. He's going through the year. So
Yeah, this is farewell tour.
it ends at WrestleMania.
no,
No,
end of the year.
the year. I mean, he might not go all the way to whatever the last pay-per-view is, but he's going to go through SummerSlam. He's going to go through, this isn't just going to end at WrestleMania.
He's doing the whole year?
He's saying he wants to win the World Championship at WrestleMania. In order for that to be valid, you have to be... He's not going to win the championship and then walk away.
I thought he said that's why I thought the same thing too. He'll win the belt and then give it up. Are you sure? Did he not come out and say originally he's retiring at WrestleMania?
I didn't hear at WrestleMania.
think so.
I heard 2025.
He said it's going to be his last WrestleMania.
Then I think he's probably going to win the belt. They're definitely going to give him a belt. Oof. They're definitely going to make him the all-time greatest. Come on,
I don't know.
He deserves that.
Triple H loves Ric Flair. I don't know if he's going to have Cena go over Ric Flair for the record.
Any last things to say? We have concerns about Raw, but this is clearly a new age. Just really quick, one sentence or less. If this continues, this sort of trend as far as the product on the screen, the quality, the style and of the production and things, is this a net good for WWE?
Well, yeah, it's
not just financially. I mean, that's in the bag, right? That's been in the bag.
You now have a solid 10-year agreement with the #1 service provider of entertainment.
Wow.
Well, 5 with an option to extend.
With the #1 entertainment service, and
80% of the globe or something has
and
access
you can
to Netflix.
do pretty much whatever you want.
They really are. A global company.
Really, how can that not be bad?
What about you? What do you think?
I mean, I may not be a fan of it, but it's got to be only good for WWE.
You don't think it's good for the fans?
If you like it, great.
The highlight of the show for me was really seeing Green Shirt Guy there and thinking of you. That was really my favorite part of the show. All right, guys, let us know what you think down below. What do you think about the Netflix show? Do you think they need to continue with it? Should they make some changes? Let us know down below.
Okay, so I wasn't a big fan of the Raw, but let's get into something I am more of a fan of. Let's talk some AEW news. A lot has happened since our last show, since we last recorded. AEW is a little light on the TV presence now. One of the shows is gone. No more Rampage. I know you guys are really going to miss it, especially you, Dan. That was like your favorite show, wasn't it?
I tuned in every night.
The best part of Rampage was watching the recording after Dynamite when we went live.
Right?
Tuned in every Tuesday night.
Well, it's on Saturday, so that explains why you missed it.
Friday.
Oh, shut
Right, Friday. Sorry, Collision Saturday.
None of us know.
But in losing Rampage, they've picked up streaming as well. They are simulcasting on Max. First episode of Dynamite was on New Year's Day. Did you guys catch it, or am I the only one here who watched it?
No, I've watched Dynamite. Yep.
What'd you think?
You know, I didn't expect what WWE did with Netflix. I just knew that was too big and whatever. But I thought that they would do kind of something. Yeah. And they didn't. They didn't do anything at all. It was just like every other show. I don't know. I thought they would really do something with it. And it felt kind of Little League to me. It felt...
Yeah, I agree. They didn't do nearly as much as they should have.
It just felt like, it's just like watching like any other television show. They didn't do the picture-in-picture, which was something they did all the time.
Yeah. They still did it on TV. It was just on Max. They weren't doing any picture-in-picture.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's a feature that they need to work through or whatever. But,
I see why.
You know, and they're making some changes that again, it's hard to tell what's related to what, but even stuff as silly as, Adam Copeland becoming Cope or whatever and doing this weird face heel. I don't exactly know what he's doing this tweener thing, I guess, that I don't really understand. So I don't know. I think while I even though WWE was sort of, let's call it the best in class for professional wrestling, they clearly upped their game with this Netflix thing. I didn't see anything special or any change out of the ordinary.
And it wasn't just the first time on Max. It was also their Fight for the Fallen show,
Right.
which is the charity show. It was benefiting the hurricane survivors in North Carolina. But again, they didn't really step anything up. They didn't have any of the big names on their show, Osprey or Omega or any of those guys. It was a bit of a letdown, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly when it comes to TV rights, and we talked about it all last year, their move to do this with Max is clearly in response to Netflix. They're trying to spice it up a little bit. They're trying to get it on a service.
They got to go streaming.
Warner Brothers, they're trying to make it where, we don't know the full terms of that Warner Brothers deal. Like, maybe eventually they're looking to go just to Max. I don't know. Like, right now they're just trying to do both until eventually they're like, no, we're just going to skip over here to Max, and we then can follow the same rules as I think, in my opinion, I think AEW is looking to see, and probably the TV reps are looking to see what is WWE going to be able to get away with on Netflix. And if it works, we now have our door onto Max, and we can move our content over there. If it doesn't work, well, we're also still over here on TBS and TNT. We'll stay over here. I think right now the fact that they're on both, I don't think they know what direction they want to go yet. But watching it, I was kind of, I watched clips of it. I thought that maybe they tried to throw in some surprises to match up with the Netflix. I didn't really see it. And
No, not at all.
my criticism that I always say about AEW is it's just always so chaotic. There's always something going on, like there's a stipulation or this or that. Like, there's just always something that the storytelling there, in my opinion, is just all over the board. They have some good stories. Don't get me wrong. Like, every rivalry has some kind of story to it. I just never can keep track of what it is and what it's not. And I think that's sometimes the problem with AEW is they just have so much stuff going on that you really can't focus on one good thing that's going. That's my opinion. I take it as they always have so much.
If I was Tony Khan and I was trying to do that transition,
Tony, you better be listening.
If I was trying to do that transition, what I would do is I would write a 3-hour program for, let's say, 4 to 8 weeks in a row. And at the end of what aired, I'd say, and for those of you on Max, the action will continue. Do the main event, do whatever, but that gives you an opportunity to continue other storylines, to try edgier things and see what happens, and to look at the numbers and see what happens. Like, are you getting people that are transferring from one format to the other? They're like, oh, holy crap, I need to fire up my Max app and go look and see what's going on. And it also gives you that opportunity to experiment, and you're not taking up any valuable time. You're just adding additional content and see what happens, and see if people are actually coming over, and see what you have to do to actually, close that gate behind you, which I'm sure Turner really isn't crazy about. But they need an opportunity to test the waters. They had a great opportunity with Rampage because it's such an utter failure. So few people watch it to begin with. Why not take a risk? Why not start taking risks and see what works? And if you can transfer it over, why not use that laboratory that you have to really experiment? They need to do that with Max right now. They need to start giving some of their lower roster talent air and an opportunity to really flex their muscles and see if they can start building a following. That's what I would do if I was Tony Khan.
And
so
They did upload the first year of AEW 2019 onto Max, so you can go back and watch all that stuff, the pay-per-views and the shows.
some of the best stuff.
Yeah, I'm waiting to go back to watch the first pay-per-view, first Double or Nothing, and compare it to their crowds and everything now.
Oh man, that's.
I know I'll probably be disappointed.
Don't drink while you do that. That's.
And it sounds like AEW is putting the flag on Adam Copeland, right? New.
I don't know if that was
trademark
their
filed.
decision or his decision, but
I mean, look.
Yeah, MJF really has kind of been,
He's buried. He's down in the weeds right
He's
now.
kinda
now
been,
that the Cole thing is done, hopefully both of them will go on to better things.
Yeah, he's kind of lately though. He's been kind of. He's been.
Look, here's my
I don't know.
opinion. If you're Adam Copeland and you just went over to AEW, okay, I get that he went over for the new storytelling, the new people, the new wrestlers, the new content. But at some point, you gotta put that guy wants to become AEW World Champion for the resume. Rather it's a month he has the belt, 2 weeks, whatever. He's got to win it. And the time is he's getting older. So like that's got to happen at some point.
He's going to get injured. He's going to get injured.
I mean, do we disagree that they're going to make him world champion at some point in the next year?
He'll at least go for the title, if not win it. Yeah.
I mean, he's got it. I mean, Chris Jericho had it, probably never have it again, but he had it for a little bit.
Jericho's Ring of Honor champion again.
Oh yeah.
Well, but Jericho was the first champion. He
Yeah.
was Le Champion, and that was a whole gimmick that worked in the first year.
Yep.
No.
But
If I'm Tony Khan, I slapped the belt on Adam Cole
I mean,
for a while.
he's a draw, so I
Yeah.
want him to make a run at it. I think it would take the shine off the belt, though, if he won. I think.
Well, there
He's
is no shine
older.
on the belt right now. Moxley has it in a briefcase for the last 6 months.
It
so.
was better with Swerve. You're right. It was better with Swerve.
Yeah.
They wanted to give it to a heel, though.
Yeah,
It's always
Moxley
better.
needs
It's
to go
always
away.
better with a heel.
And his new version
Chase
of
is
the
better.
Blackpool Combat Club
It's garbage. I
is
hate
not
it.
great either. I would like to see him stick it on somebody like I don't know.
MJF again.
It could go on MJF. I don't know why it shouldn't. It had a great shine on it when MJF held it.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of they haven't developed
Christian
a lot of,
still has a Money in the Bank type deal. Maybe they put it on him for a bit.
He's such a good heel. Yeah, if you're gonna put it on a heel, put it on him. I don't know why it went to Moxley.
Yeah.
So it sounds like at the end of the day, both shows are somewhat of a letdown.
Yes.
I mean, and again, this goes to what we talked about, and we'll talk about a little bit when we get to the 2025 outlook. Where do we go? I mean, 2024 was such a big year. You know?
Yeah, well, they need it. They've even before it was great matches at the expense of everything else, and they've kind of lost that great match aspect of it. Even I'm watching the product now, and I'm kind of like, I've heard rumors that Jordan Grace is maybe talking to WWE and AEW. I have more hope for her. Yeah, I know you've got some criticisms of Mercedes Moné. It's a situation where the talent is there. It's just not getting used, and I don't know why. It's just as crowded now as it was 12 months ago, 18 months ago, and yet we're not seeing the quality of matches that we were seeing before. So
Yeah.
Tony has to do something. He's wasting his dad's money.
Well, comment down below. Let us know what you thought about the AEW Max debut and who had the better streaming debut, Raw or Dynamite. I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up
And
for
if
me.
you think it's AEW, you need to be checked. So please go to your local urgent care.
All right, boys, time for a brand new segment. We're going to try to keep this one going for a while. This week in wrestling history. Got some local history from back in 2006, January 8th.
Local?
At the Pepsi Arena in Albany, WWE New Year's Revolution.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, you guys might remember this. I don't know. There were some pretty banger matches on the show, like Chavo Guerrero defeating Snitsky by pinfall.
Oh, my gosh. Snitsky.
Or the bra and panties gauntlet match that Ashley Massaro won.
Oh, my gosh.
Or the
When did the PG era officially start? Because
08.
I thought 06.
Something like that.
Oh, my gosh.
No, 06 was right in the middle of the Ruthless Aggression.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But the main event was an Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship. This was a Raw branded show, by the way. John Cena defeated Carlito, Chris Masters, Shawn Michaels, Kane, and Kurt Angle. But what this show is remembered for...
I know. I remember this show.
The first ever Money in the Bank cash-in when Edge beat John Cena. That happened in Albany.
Wow. That is a fun little one.
Right? I thought that was pretty cool.
Edge cashed in the first Money in the Bank to take. They had some pretty epic Cena, Edge, Cena, Triple H. They had some pretty epic showdowns, especially at WrestleMania during that 08.
It's funny you say that because that goes to show that I think WWE has always had love for Albany, New York.
Kinda.
I don't
You
know.
got to go back 10 years to find the last time they really
The
showed
greatest
love to
wrestling moment ever
The beer truck?
happened in Albany, New York. The beer truck. It's literally, no matter where you go, they say it's the best wrestling moment ever.
No.
Go on YouTube. It's like top 3 in every single one, and it's in Albany. Stone Cold coming out with a goddamn beer truck.
I mean, it's amazing.
It's great.
But the best ever?
I mean, come on.
Hang on.
Vince McMahon
Better
swimming
than
in the ring in
return
the beer.
of CM Punk?
Well, yeah. yeah. Oh, it's good. That's a great. That beer truck moment's great.
It's
Before people hate Vince McMahon, back in the day, him swimming in the ring in the beer. I mean, come on. It was great content. That was fantastic.
I hope the janitors got paid overtime for that.
But that just shows they gave Albany, New York a lot of love. A lot of good moments happened in Albany.
It's interesting. We talk a lot about arena sizes, and there's barely a reason for them to even come to Albany anymore for little dinky Times Union now arena.
MVP now.
Sorry, MVP. Yeah,
That's still a decent. That's still a decent size arena.
I mean,
it fit in an elimination chamber in it
for a Raw, but they would never host a pay-per-view or even a C or D level. They wouldn't even take maybe an NXT pay-per-view or something they would put there, but they would never put on even a Raw is now they're putting 12,000, 30,000, 14,000 people in the stands for a Raw. I mean, what's MVP? 10?
Maybe 10, yeah.
10
I
what?
mean, 10,000?
What?
What's the
seats?
capacity? Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now. You want to guess?
I guess around 10.
A max with very small stage. So that would be Raw. They barely had a stage. It was all the way going around. 17,500.
No way.
Concerts,
No way.
15,300. Basketball, 15,000.
15.
Hockey, arena. I mean, yeah, max 17,500.
I mean,
They do have the upper deck. That's hardly
They
ever
have
open.
upper deck. I mean, it's a big arena.
They do, but they closed down a third of it for the backstage.
For the
Well,
Yeah.
that's where you. I mean, so that Raw they did last night, and don't think that's not gonna be at every show where they have the whole going around. That they're gonna make that Titantron as small as it is, and you're gonna have people going all the way around now.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, it's only. I mean,
I don't know.
Just go back to it. Did you see it once again? They broke another record.
The 17,000.
I'm so. How many goddamn records?
Well, now
I just don't get it.
well, they do it. This is what they do in all of sports entertainment now. Now it's like most catches with left hand in weather below 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
What was it? The most capacity in arena?
No,
or
no, it
something?
was the highest gate, right?
Highest arena gate.
Highest arena gate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you charge
And the next
a
week they'll
gajillion
break
dollars.
it again. Like, every day it's another. I swear to God, they just changed the word.
Thanks to, can we adjust it for inflation at least? Like, come on. Oh, well,
right.
That was very interesting. That was very cool. Local Albany factoid. There's not too many, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Let us know if you think this is the best week in wrestling history factoid, or give us another one in the comments below.
Enough about the past. Let's talk about 2025. Let's look forward. What we're looking forward to, what we're maybe not looking forward to, what we think's going to happen, what we think maybe won't happen. Let's start over here with Dan.
I'm lost. I'm
Dan,
just lost.
What?
Right now, I don't know. Right now, I'm lost. Okay, Jeremy, this is a very difficult time for me to process right now. I'm coming off the heels of the final boss being buried.
Okay, wait.
But that's what I was looking forward to for
All right.
2025.
Let me lead you. Let me lead you. Are you excited about John Cena winning the Royal Rumble?
I don't care. I do not care. It's going to be. He's going to win. Okay. See, now we're getting down the phase where. See, this is what I was talking about before, where like the whole final ball thing, you never knew what was going to happen type thing. Now that he's gone, they buried him. They came out and made a PG rock. Now we're back to where everything's just going to get planned, and it's be right smack on our face for us to see. We're all going to know, and here's what's going to happen: the fans are going to boycott John Cena winning because it's just so blatantly obvious it's going to happen, and they're going to start booing him. It's just going to turn. Maybe we'll see heel Cena.
Triple H, you have lost the GM Dan Shevlin.
I just don't understand it.
He was
maybe. Hey, I will admit if this come back and The Rock does some big, I'll be like, you know what? Because I have given Triple H a lot of credit and that he has gone out of his way to trick the fans and the people watching the product. He's done that. So maybe this is what's happening. But right now, the social media and the online, the internet, it's blazing hot. And right now, they're steamed that The Rock has been the final boss segment has been buried.
It'll be interesting to see
He
if
even
they
acknowledged
listen
it.
to it and they make a course adjustment like they did last year. It'll be interesting to see if they make a.
But
tweak
he
to it.
acknowledged it on NXT. He goes, "Oh, all the Cody crybabies were that we something with the now you're crying the blues, and I'm not talking shit on Cody." They acknowledge that they pissed everybody off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where I don't know where to go.
The Rock's the kind of guy that can even make a wrong turn and make it sound like he meant to make that wrong turn. So we'll see. How
but
they
he did
recover
come
it.
out and say he always has a plan. So, and he was wearing the people's belt in NXT. So I'm all over the place. I really don't know where I'm going right now. I'm pissed. I'm upset. I'm hoping that something happens. I don't really know. But this topic came down. I prepared for my whole thing being it's going to be the great year of the final boss. Now, I don't know. I'm lost.
No, we can thank WWE for the increase in therapy visits over the next couple of weeks. All right, what about you? What are you looking forward to in 2025? As the resident AEW expert.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards AEW. I'm expecting an Ospreay world title run towards the end of the year. I like what Ricochet's doing now, freshly turning heel. It's something new for him after years of being stale in WWE. So
his girlfriend hasn't officially started announcing or anything like that at AEW, right? There was teases that she might come along. Even she was tweeting a couple of things when
that's
she
right.
left.
She's not at WWE anymore, is she?
Yeah, no. She resigned.
No, she wasn't there. But Bray Wyatt's widow, JoJo, she showed up at Collision this past week, off the air in dark match, but she was doing some ring announcing, so that was a surprise. You know who I've kind of been disappointed at this point, up to this point, was Mercedes Moné. I don't think she was worth all the money that AEW put into her. But after this last match with Chris Statlander at the last pay-per-view, things look like they're starting to turn around. So I'm hopeful that she's going to start improving. Mm-hmm. But we'll see.
I'm really excited to see Penta in WWE. I am trusting. I'm having a little faith in Triple H that he respects the lucha aspect of the business, and that really hasn't been a part of the business lately in these last few years. Lucha hasn't been a big aspect of it. Ray, it's time for him to go. He's been stepping away. He has to pass the torch. I can think of no lucha in the business right now that could take that torch and run with it better than Penta. I'm very excited to see how the crowd responds. Like, are they going to kind of get it? Are they going to be talking along with him and making the hand signals and right? Or is it going to be like, is he going to have to win these people over because they don't really watch AEW and they don't really know about Mexican wrestling and that whole culture and aspect of it? So I think it's a real opportunity for...
Aside from Ray, lucha has been very hard to get over in WWE.
And even the they haven't really been pushing the lucha angle because he's older now, so he can't, and he doesn't have too many people to work off of that are as skilled as he is. So it's been a real struggle. So I'm really hoping that lucha makes a comeback in 2025, and I'm hoping that Penta can lead that charge, and that they don't bury him in SmackDown or, God forbid, NXT.
Oh, I've been meaning to ask you this: what do you think about the women's secondary titles in WWE now?
I like it.
Yeah?
They need it.
Chelsea Green is the U.S. champ, and the Intercontinental champ is going to be on next week's Raw on Netflix.
I like Chelsea Green, as there aren't too many women, though, that can meet the mid-card. You know, here's what I think is going to happen. They gave it to Chelsea Green, who's the strongest non-champion woman right now, or non-contender woman right now, but it's not a deep roster. Right. I think this is a belt. I don't think it's going to serve the purpose that the mid-card belts used to serve the men, which is as a stepping stone. I don't see Chelsea Green.
I fully half expected Natalya to be one of the first champs.
I think it's eventually going to get watered down, and it's going to end up getting passed around just in an attempt to try to make relevance out of something that isn't relevant. Oh, crap. We need to make people care about this. Okay, throw the belt at it kind of a situation. That's what I'm afraid is going to happen.
I think for those belts, they needed those because too many of the women were getting buried and didn't have an opportunity.
The roster's too big, you mean?
Yeah, well, not only that, but there wasn't any there's one belt like that. There's one, or either you're the women's champion or you're the tag champions. Like there was nothing in the middle. So I think it's a welcoming opportunity to start being able to promote and show the roster of the women and allow them to build their brand and build their image and like you said, you work your way up to world champ.
They need to bring Sol Ruca up into the main roster. They need to put her on Raw. She is the next great star. She is the future. They need to bring her up. She's done her time. She's been, I think, 3 to 5 years. Has it been 5 years she's been in NXT now? 3 years?
That long, really?
It's been 3 years or more. And she's lighting it up down there. There's no woman in the business right now that moves like her. Nobody in the business that moves like her. If they don't move her up, in my opinion, it'll be a waste. So that's what I think. Let us know down below what you think. What are you excited for 2025? What are you not excited for 2025? Really quick, one sentence or less.
Oh, Jesus. What?
What is going to be the biggest surprise in professional wrestling in 2025? The biggest hell freezes over moment of the year. If you're going to predict the biggest moment of 2025, what is
I
it
could
going to
really
be?
go crazy. I'm not going to say the one.
Say it.
No.
Vince McMahon opens a new promotion.
Whoa, that's a good one.
Okay, I got one. Because he opened the door. That was
Oh, is it another Vince McMahon?
yeah. Vince McMahon shows up at some point on WWE TV.
Whoa.
So he
Like in the crowd somewhere, or
it doesn't matter. Somewhere I was like, nah, I'm gonna skip that. It's not. But there you go. So we both have the same. Vince McMahon somewhere is going to show.
That's
his
the
face.
only big thing that could happen at this point, I would think.
It really is. It's really the only like major. Like, oh shit.
Everything else has happened already.
I mean, Hulk Hogan got booed. So that I mean.
Oh yeah, we'll never see Hogan in WWE
So he's
again.
gone. There goes that return. Could be. I don't want to say it if you say it.
go ahead, say it. I don't think.
Maybe Brock Lesnar. I mean, there's no.
Oh, he's definitely coming back.
There's no. I mean, I'm saying there's no big like.
Yeah, he's
There's no
definitely
big
coming back.
return out there.
Well, it doesn't have to
I
be a
mean,
return.
Well, I mean, you're talking big moments. That's normally what they are. I mean, like or someone winning a belt. I mean, I don't know. What were you going with?
I don't know if it would be the biggest one of the year, but I'm gonna restate my prediction from last year that Undertaker comes out at Royal Rumble
And wrestles.
and gets in the ring and wrestles. Yeah.
I don't know.
They barely. I mean, they did a big. He's been pretty adamant that he's done.
He says it all the time on his show.
Coming back and dropping a chokeslam at WrestleMania isn't coming back. I mean, he that's still retired.
Well, no, and I think coming back and dropping a choke slam and then getting pushed from behind outside of the ring or something is basically the equivalent of that. He doesn't have to come back. And they had, what's her name, 80-year-old whoever, what's her name?
Mae Young?
Yeah, they had Mae Young come out when she was 70 whatever years old. And
Yeah, but those are people who don't know how to step away. Undertaker he steps
I don't
away.
know. He's got one foot on the platform and the other on the tree. He's still heavily involved in WWE, not just behind the scenes.
And
So.
what makes me laugh is that he is a very big ally of Vince McMahon.
But I think John Cena's not going to win any titles. I think they're going to tease the heck out of that. They're going to push it and push it and push it, and he's going to get to
He might get a
WrestleMania.
title shot.
Yeah,
I don't care if he wins it or not, but man, I mean, it makes no sense to
No,
make him
they're
the
gonna
greatest.
they're gonna
of all
push
time.
it and push it and push it. They're gonna convince everybody he's gonna win it, and then he's not gonna win it, and it'll
So
be.
why come back then? Why come back and go on this whole tour just to not do it?
I think he's gonna try and get that out of the way at WrestleMania, and then he's gonna spend the last 3 to 6 months of his time with the company just waving
Yeah.
and glad. All my great matches
Same
are behind
thing
me.
Kurt Angle
WrestleMania
did.
is over.
Same thing Shawn Michaels did.
when after I said it, I looked at it, and you're right. It doesn't really say when he's retiring. It just says 2025. But I mean, where do you go with that story? He's got to win the belt. I mean, where do you go with it? So he goes. He let's say he wins the Royal Rumble, whatever. And then he goes to WrestleMania and he loses. What do you do for the next 6 months?
If he,
What retirement tour you really go on?
Yeah,
This is
that's
what you
that's
do.
old school booking though. Either win the title or leave town. That's how they did it.
Something
in the
they got
territories.
something fishing with that storyline. I don't know what it is just yet. They got something cooking with that. I don't know what it's gonna be. If he doesn't win the title, they got something.
But
juicy
they've
for
done a lot of setup. He just said it's been 2,400 days or whatever since my last win. They'll give him a win. He'll go over at the Royal Rumble or something like that. But he's not going to win the championship. He's gonna try and put the shine. He'll try and build up maybe some of the lower card title holders after he wins the Rumble. He'll get some matches. He'll let guys beat him, even though he's the number one contender, and to try to put them over and make them look better. And then he's going to go to the big show, have his wonderful WrestleMania moment. It'll be an epically long match in the main event. And then somebody will scream, "I'm sorry," and super kick him in the face. And that'll be the end
I
of it.
do think that Triple H is going to throw the wild card where they make him not win the Royal Rumble. That's how Triple H works, where they make everyone think he's going to do it, and then he'll be the last two.
If that happens, I will totally be wrong because he will not be back for a while.
Well, no,
he
he said Elimination Chamber,
could- yeah,
Money
he
in the
could do
Bank,
all that stuff.
I mean, so they're smart. He won't win the Royal Rumble, and they'll keep on this whole his fight to become champion.
Okay.
His fight to become champion.
Really
his
quick
fight.
though, who's a better option to win the Rumble this year? Because everyone we've always said in past years already have won or
Who
have
do I think is better
championships.
that I want to win? LA Knight.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, LA Knight. It is his time.
It's not.
It is his time.
I think who I thought was gonna win it again was The Rock.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's a better
But
choice.
how do you get him into the main event again? This whole thing into the main
He
event.
is a chairman of the board.
Yeah, he says I'm chairman.
Yeah.
Of the board.
I was really liking that whole storyline. I don't know if you saw the rumors real quick about him making him number 31. And he comes out as number
my
30. I actually
gosh.
kind of like that. And he invokes his power of the
I
board.
would be.
They'll
listen,
do that
if that
in
happens,
Saudi.
I'm throwing food at the television.
They'll do that in Saudi. That's a Saudi rule.
All right. Well, let us know down below. What are you excited for? Please keep watching so we can keep wrestling with the business.
Yeah.
That was the worst. Yeah.
I know.
Can we re-record that?
Yeah. I heard it say that.
Put some testicles
I
behind.
heard that on the TV last night. I pictured Jeremy saying about. I was dying laughing.
Yeah.